Right. So Esther and I spent hours on the telephone, costs like you cannot believe, on just this new contract that had to be approved by Esther because she was our sales agent, and we had to have a sales agent on board for the IDC to give us the money. And she had to be happy, and the IDC had to be happy. Now the IDC were just starting their whole business of financing motion pictures. This was, I mean, you'd think we didn't have enough trouble at this point. The IDC didn't have their act together. They said that by December, end of December, we would have our money in the bank because they'd approved it in principle. So end of December is coming, we haven't been paid, our editors haven't been paid, no one's been paid. End of December we're thinking, great, we can have a bit of money in our pockets for Christmas. No way. The IDC then shifted the contract to another department. It needed approval by this legal guy, that legal guy. They needed the clearance, what was it, collection agency, which Esther then became, because they accepted Esther as a collection agent, even though she's not a collection agent. But we had a relationship that made it possible that she would agree.
Cost, you know, we're only talking about...
At a new cost, because we had to pay Esther to become a collection agent. And so this all generated anxiety. Now, that's the biggest thing that producers have to deal with, their own anxieties and stresses. And I swear, by December 31st, I was on the edge of a breakdown. Because we had all these bills to pay. And... the money came in February from the IDC.
Can I also add to that? I mean, a very important thing is the issue that the South African rand devaluated by something like 40% from the time that we started planning how much money we were going to have till the time that we actually got the money. And the longer it took for the money to come through, the less money we had to work with. And that was, that probably changed realistically. It probably affected our budgets by, say, we probably had something like 20% less.
That's also why the costs went up so radically, because our budget was budgeted at a time when the pound was 16, the US was 11. Suddenly we're in a position where, hang on, we're not getting, it's costing us, we're getting a lot less from our international sales when they were coming in. Because when we budgeted against those incomes, those were the rates we were using. But the money, the rand strengthened and the money went down. So, you know, we lost money. We had to find that money elsewhere. So ultimately, in February, the IDC money arrived. And now we had done a deal with the IDC, which I'll tell you about, because in a way this is useful, because you will one day want to go to the IDC to finance your films. The IDC took a very harsh position. They didn't say, here's the money, pass back when you get it. They wanted their pre-sale, all the pre-sale they were advancing straight up front back in their bank account. No questions asked. The equity that they put up in the film, which amounted to ultimately, in the final equity, after all costs were recouped, and interest was paid, and producers' fees were paid, their equity was 37%.
How much did they give you?
They gave us 750,000 rand, of which 235 was cash flow, was pre-sale that we were waiting for, that we just paid them when we got the money. So you can see the terms were punitive. They were absolutely punitive, plus 17% interest.
Wow.
So this was not a lazy ride down the river with the IDC. They came in and they just saw us coming, and now they're getting their money out, because they actually are getting their money out. But they're getting all the money first back, plus the interest, and then you'll see some of it. But we probably will see some of it now that we've managed finally, and I mean, I'm just cutting to the chase again. I mean, ultimately we did deliver the film. We managed to make further sales to PBS, to the United States, through Francois' negotiations, through Input. The film was shown at Input in Denmark, and PBS were there, they liked it, and they bought it at Input. And on our table, Gloria dropped out. Oh, you can